Don't look under the internet.
Come harder, Mike.
Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, the game show.
Oh, is this we're doing game show format now?
Yes.
I've
I'm
honestly
taking
been
a
waiting
drink.
for this. Yep.
All right,
Go ahead.
I'll wait.
Get your
I'll wait.
fills.
I'm off today. I don't know what's happening.
Nice.
All day I've just been like,
What do I do with
why am I
myself?
stupid today? That's how I
Meanwhile,
felt.
we think that every day about you.
You know what's great? Hang on. Before you take
That's
that.
fair.
Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, everybody. A horror podcast about the internet and all things
You were
creepy
so close.
steepy on it.
An internet horror comedy.
Internet horror comedy
There
about
you
all
go.
things steepy peepy on the internet. I'm a guy. That's another guy named Jason.
Hello.
That's another guy named Doug.
Boobs.
And I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. And if you sign up for our Patreon, you can get a candle that smells like my urethra.
What does it smell like?
Jason,
If you had to
don't
describe-
even.
How do you think this would taste?
What is it?
Probably not bad.
Okay,
It's
so
kinda
wait.
creamy.
What are you drinking? What are you thinking? There's a bottle here and it's empty.
Chaos.
Yeah,
Pure.
so
Honestly,
actually-
it's eating. But
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So Jason bought this bottle. What's it called again?
it's called Shanky's Whip, and it's got the picture of what looks like a horse jockey in a chariot riding an ostrich.
Yeah, it fucks. It tastes kind of like cream soda.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
very
just
strange.
started recording, and the bottle's already almost gone.
Like halfway done. But
No,
I also
more than
just dipped
that.
this Smucker's Uncrustables into it. I'm kind of curious.
Go ahead,
It's,
take
it's
a
also
bite.
significantly less percent than most of the things
Yeah,
we
it's
drink.
33% when we're used to like 40. Not good.
Oh,
Well, what'd you expect? You just put like molasses on a PB&J.
that was
So, was it a PB&J, but it had basically black licorice on it?
more or less. I'm done with science for the night. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Diluti, housekeeping,
Clap above your head.
clap above my head.
You've got the clap.
Oh no! I want to go on to the page. Oh wait, yeah, drinking still.
Yeah,
when you
we
hear the
talked about this,
Yeah,
but
you're
when,
steamrolling.
yeah, sorry.
when you hear the clink,
drink. Anyway, Diluti housekeeping. We have a new patron. It's your boy Yugi Moto.
it is.
He's in the Patreon. Ooh, Kaiba boy.
We have your grandpa. Just a heads up.
I have your grandpa. I've linked him to the blockchain, Yugi boy. He's minted on the blockchain. But thank you, Yugi Moto, for being a patron.
Have
Like
you
a
seen the new abridged?
No, not
There's,
yet.
there's new Yu-Gi-Oh abridged.
I'm
by
like
the way.
I'm like 10 episodes behind on that shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to get back on there. Lil Karibo, man. Everyone go
So
watch him.
fucking
He's,
funny.
he's great. I love that guy. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time.
It is a weird time, but thank you, Yugi,
thank you,
for,
Yugi Moto.
for being here.
I hope you banish everyone you don't like to the Shadow Realm.
Yes.
And
Fun fact, that
yeah.
just means dying.
Yeah.
No. It's because it's 4 kids. They're not dead.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just in a different dimension. Their brain.
Same
is in a
way
different
4
dimension.
kids portray
They just
women.
they edited out all the guns.
Yeah.
They're just fists.
Also, Yugi Moto, when he turns into sexy metrosexual
Yeah.
Yugi Moto, motherfucker. Not only does he have a leather fetish for one, but he has that move called the Mind Crush, where he just
Mind Crush.
puts people in a coma. What a fucking sociopath!
No, it's fine because they're not dying.
Yeah, you're right. They're in a coma. Like he just walks up to them and went, "Hey, you know what you could use? What Mind Crush?"
A fucking coma.
And he
Go
can
to
just
sleep.
do that. Like if someone aggravates him in line at like the Starbucks, he says, "Mind Crush." Now the fucking poor Starbucks worker who's trying to unionize is
Are you going to try to fucking make the Yu-Gi-Oh versus capitalism the new series?
I might have to try.
Okay, well.
No, my next series is going to be about birds
and their scooters.
and their scooters, but mostly just their birds
Ah.
and their video games.
Guys, I'll
And-
be riding a bird scooter soon, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Why?
Because I'm gonna be at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just
I'm
don't.
gonna slap a sticker onto a bird scooter like I did last year.
Please. Absolutely. Hell yes.
That would be amazing.
I think it's a crime that all bird scooters are not licensed by us, because I feel like at this point in time we have a claim to
we
ownership.
need to start franchising out.
Not a sponsor.
We need to start
but
suing.
soon.
But soon. Oh, my goal is
Mike's topping off a very full glass.
Very full cup.
Well, it's going to be
Holy
gone soon,
shit.
and I want to make
That's
sure I
fair.
have enough for the night.
We'll,
It
we'll
is gonna be
slow.
gone.
We'll slow up.
Yeah, but anyway, this is it for the night. So, you guys have probably heard some of the. This is another bird scooter. And we're all over the map today.
Yeah, we're scatterbrained as fuck.
A lot of you probably heard some of the ads for their podcasts that we put on there. That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
Not really.
Honestly, the fucking most recent one is my favorite. And I would never think that I'd be sitting here talking to you guys, as well as whoever the fuck else is listening, about the placement of an ad in an episode we did a week ago. But holy shit, the timing is perfect. So if you guys remember last week, Doug and I kind of put Mike through the ringer with the fucking 10 Cloverfield Lane bullshit.
Still don't understand what was going on with that.
That's the point.
Yes.
I'd never mentioned that movie ever before, and that's what
It
you
literally
guys
was
went with.
because you posted the thing about the guy who made Prey.
Oh,
which
yeah.
the guy that
Yeah.
directed 10 Cloverfield. That's it. That's the only reason I did that. And I'm so happy I did. But, so towards the end of the episode, like, we keep talking about 10 Cloverfield Lane, and you understandably are like, what the fuck is happening? And at one point, I go, you know what, Mike? No. We've been cutting you off all episode. I think it's high time we let you ask some questions. Like, what do you got? And directly after that, the ad goes, no, Mike, go fuck yourself.
Literally.
It literally Wazowski'd you.
That sounds appropriate. But yeah, you're going to hear some. We have recommendations for shows that Buzzsprout lets us put
Yeah,
on.
hopefully you guys will
It's a
find
little
some-
ad piece.
It's just a little beta that they're letting us be
Yeah.
a part of. So
The way I've been describing it is we have a button on Buzzsprout now that if we press it, we get $1.
pretty much.
It's literally people advertising our
beep.
shows.
Yeah.
We're trying to find some more content for you guys, and I think we're doing a decent job of matching them up.
Yep.
Especially the one that I just accepted. I
Yeah.
forget what it's called, but it's weird
Re-
shit on Reddit. more
Reddit
or
on
less.
Wiki or something like that.
Yeah, be a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Listen to that podcast
Yeah,
that
but
I
you'll-
forgot the name
yeah.
of. It's a good one.
You might hear more of that stuff in the future and whatnot, because we're attempting to make this a full-time gig. So we'll see how that goes.
Mike, you're fired.
Shit.
And
Joke's
just like
on
that,
you.
it's now full time.
Yeah. So back to what we were talking about before, birds, because I like me some birds. I like me video games. I like me video games with birds in them. If it doesn't have a proper bird simulator, I'm not playing it.
Would you say that you like your video games that have birds in them to be like structured? Like very, very, very planned?
Kind of. I want my games about birds to be like 9/11, a catastrophe.
More like a catastrophe.
Yes.
I mean,
Huh.
yeah.
Yes. I would like more games like that.
Can't look away, like never forget.
I would like to be like the band as well, Counting Crows.
Oh, in what way, Mike?
Just the name.
In image alone.
Yeah. We're talking about Catastrophe Crow
Hell
today.
yeah.
Which is a weird one to do on an audio program, but here we are.
Yeah, honest. Oh my God,
We're gonna
guys.
attempt
We're not
it.
gonna do this. We're not doing this justice. We
No.
will not do it justice.
No.
You guys will laugh. We'll have fun with it. But seriously, go check out the entirety of Catastrophe Crow. I also apologize for how hard it is to find all of the content that is included.
That's the point of it.
With this. But that's honestly that's part of the journey is
Yeah.
finding all the shit, because there's a lot and it's spread out over fucking like 15 channels. Like it's you'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know like how to really put a time frame on this one, because it's kind of just up to your discretion to either look through everything or watch everything.
I would say probably minimum hour and a half.
Yeah.
If you want to like get the full feeling of it, you're probably looking like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But it all starts with a YouTube channel by a man named Adam Butcher.
So pause the video or the podcast.
Yep.
Watch his video. Never return.
We don't want you here. Yeah, don't ever come back, Yugi. No, please stay. I love
I'm
you.
so sorry we're singling you out, but Mike loves Yu-Gi-Oh, so
You
fucking deal with it for this episode.
I now sleep with a Yu-Gi-Oh pillow on my
Fuck
bed
yeah,
every
man.
night.
Dude, I got all those little mini figurines over there that I'll have to bust out. And
So can we
sleep
play?
with those?
Can we play pretend?
we could. I have like 3 Exodias. I have a
yeah.
silver one too. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so it all starts with this video by a guy named Adam Butcher that he uploads a video called what happened to Crow 64 or Crow game. Crow game.
What happened to Crow game?
What happened to crows?
What happened to Catastrophe Crow?
Yeah,
Are they real?
Are birds real?
Are birds? No, they're not.
They're scooters. But it's for those of you that don't really know Adam Butcher's content, he pretty much makes those like history of video games type of videos. Adam mentions how he was sent a developer copy of Crow 64, which is, in his definition, a game that is long forgotten from time, and it never reached the public.
And by sent a copy,
He bought it.
He bought it on eBay.
Yeah, he bought it. So
After watching eBay for many, many months.
So
Yeah.
if you would like to be sent an item, all you have to do is log into eBay
and just
refresh,
sign up, and you buy the item. You'll get an item, I promise.
Yep. But yeah, he kind of just goes over like a brief history of like the developer, Manfred Lorenz, and kind of Crow 64 in
The fucking parent company Opus, like
yeah.
it's just like a brief intro to anybody who does not know what this is, which should be about, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like a 13-minute long video or so. Very, very lovely. Adam Butcher's all content. I don't know if you guys watch any more of his shit. He makes quality fucking episodes.
Does.
Quality
And if you
content.
haven't, you should check out some of his past stuff, especially if you enjoy, after going through this, if you enjoyed this, go back. There's a couple other projects under his belt that he fucking killed it at. But this one is it's of a whole other caliber, especially because it's all about a long lost N64 game, which is not something that he's actually done before.
Yeah. But a lot of his videos just kind of going over the history of Manfred Lorenz.
Yeah. Do you want to know about Manfred Lorenz? Is this
guess.
your attempt at a bird scooter?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
I did try my dangdest.
You did. So Manfred Lorenz.
What a name.
It's a fantastic. It's the name of a sex god, if we're being honest.
Manfred.
So
King of sex.
you all might be wondering, who the fuck is Manfred Lorenz?
I just
Who
asked.
that is?
Who that is?
Well, Manfred was
Goddamn Manfred Lorenz.
most well known for founding the group known as Opus Interactive, which was a company that created, developed, and distributed video games, specifically for the N64 at the time. I mean,
God, this shit does taste like cream soda. It's so weird.
It's not. It's
Shanky, what are you doing? It's so weird.
He's riding an emu.
I'm feeling a little whipped right now.
So Manfred, he founded the company known as Opus Interactive, which is the parent company behind the creation of Catastrophe Crow. He was the recipient of 2 Golden Joystick Awards and an AIAS Hall of Fame award. He created the game Ocean Quest, for which he became surprisingly popular. That game was for the SNES, by the way.
SNES.
With a banging fucking
He's got a resume.
with a banging theme or like theme song.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So he's got this reputation behind him, right? Let's go ahead and get to what Catastrophe Crow had to do with Manfred. So Manfred was the creator. He came up with the idea for it. And he was inspired to create it after he received a drawing from his daughter Thea that just said Catastrophe Crow, but it's in German. So Manfred's German. So just a heads up to everybody.
That explains the weird name.
Yes, I guess.
He is a man. He is a Fred.
He is a man and a Fred all at the same time. But no, so this game was all inspired by his daughter. He wanted to create a game for his daughter Thea. He started production of the game in about 1996, and he set it to release on Christmas in 1999. However, the game was delayed several times.
Was the N64 really going up until like 2000?
2001
Yeah.
Really?
is when the GameCube came out.
Oh yeah,
And
I guess so.
that was the next system after. Wow.
Yeah, because I want to say I got a Nintendo 64 in like it was like 95-ish or something
like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like whenever I think N64, I think like a console from like 94 to 97.
In
You know,
1994, I had an Atari.
yeah. Because I mean, I had the PlayStation. PlayStation came out, I think, 95. PlayStation 1.
Might have.
But
I don't
See,
know.
I'm not
I don't
sure
know the
because I
exact
think
dates on these, but
I think disc technology all came out around the same time. For at least for like gaming.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. So Manfred Lorenz and Catastrophe Crow. So this game was inspired
94. The PlayStation 1 came out in 94. Holy crap, I was
when did
one.
the N64 drop?
When did
I think that was also 94.
I think so.
come out?
It was either 93 or 94.
96.
96?
Was it really
Damn.
96?
Okay, so
Oh
then-
no, I totally did have a PS1
June
first.
23rd.
I remember because I played the fucking Raiden project
Man.
for hours on end.
PlayStation fucking had them.
Well, I had a Super NES and then I had an N64. So I guess it was 96 that I got it because I got it whatever year it came out.
Yeah, that was my
And then-
Christmas present that year.
Because like the first game I had on it, like besides Diddy Kong Racing that came with it, was the South Park game.
Holy shit!
That game fucking slapped.
I never had an N64. I grew up with the PlayStation, still got it. And
do,
honestly,
sitting right over there.
if we could find a way and people want us to fucking like stream PlayStation 1 games, I'd be
I'm on
fucking
board.
about it.
I have like
I'm
a
on board.
stack of PS1 games
Same.
at my house for
Fuck
some
yeah,
reason.
dude. Bring them over.
But anyway, back to Manfred. So
This isn't a bonus episode.
no, not quite. But the reason we were talking about all that is
Bonus episodes in
because
the patreon.com/DelutyPod.
the production for
Denim.
Catastrophe Crow began
Deluty.denim.
in 1996, and they were set to release in 1999, right around Christmas. Now, you guys might remember I talked about Manfred being a very popular video game creator, won several awards.
He's
has
the
got-
video game boy.
He is. He's the non-angry video
Yeah.
game nerd. No, he's well known in the video game community. Which is it's interesting because like that should say like he knows what he's doing, right? He knows what he's talking about. This game kept getting delayed over and over and over again. So production starts in 1996, right?
Yes.
Set to release around Christmas 99.
Damn, 3 years to develop a game. I guess that's kind of
Well, then it gets
standard.
pushed back to February of 2000, and then again to August of 2000, and then again to Christmas of 2000, and then sometime in 2001, and again, and it keeps getting pushed, almost like, when the fuck is this shit ever going to get finished?
And then 9/11 happened.
And then they couldn't make a game like this. But
that whole ordeal.
But speaking of 9/11, by 2001,
Oh, yeah.
Opus Interactive had spent almost $10 million on the project. Okay?
We've mentioned 9/11 a lot on this episode.
We have to do
And so,
it.
if I had a nickel for every time you mentioned 9/11, I'd have like 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 3 times.
The only reason I brought it up was because you said something about it. Never
So,
forgetty.
again, speaking of 2001, so Opus Interactive is in, like, they're like, fuck this, no game is worth $10 fucking million. You guys should just wait a couple of years. We'll see how much like it costs to finance one of those now. So $10 million in, and they said, fuck this, we're done. At this point, Manfred had kind of like taken it upon himself to spearhead this game, make sure that he's doing the most work on it. So he fired everybody else that worked for Opus. Leaving a very abandoned building, he kept working on it, but
It gives off like, was it Theranos vibes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
With Wolverine.
So after he takes full control, you would assume that because he has creative control, that it would create some kind of very, very amazing game. That's not the fucking case. This game was near fucking released.
Never?
Thank you, Mike. Never released. Near the end of 2001, Manfred, along with all the development hardware in Opus Interactive, disappeared. The debt collectors came to take whatever they could, obviously, because $10 million.
That's a lot of money.
It's a fuckload.
100.
His car and his sailing boat that were at his home were also gone, and 2 days later, his boat was found a few miles from the coast of Cuxhaven.
Cuxhaven, home of the Cucks.
Only a neat pile of clothes and a note addressed to his wife was found, with no sign of him or the equipment that he stole from Opus Interactive.
He eloped with it.
He did. He was probably fucking it.
Probably.
Technosexual.
Oh, how's your hard drive?
But I actually do have the note, albeit it's translated, so it's written in German, but here's the note that he
Can
left.
you edit out that joke? That wasn't funny what I did. Can you just get that out?
Yeah, cut it.
Dude,
It's
no,
already
the
cut.
Roadcaster does that. Like, it literally finds what's funny, and if it's not, it says go fuck yourself. You can't hear it.
Dope. Because
Yeah,
Mike's whole track is deleted already. So
Yeah. So here's the note that was written by Manfred Lorenz to his wife, Marta Lorenz. Marta, you are always in the right and remain it to the last day. It's impossible to look into people's heads to decode their behavior, to find out why we are so cruel to one another. We both did what we thought was right, and yet we could only accuse one another of insanity. You have only taken away from me, and I from you. So the world can remain open. My path is set in place. I have finally gone home. M. And
do you want to look into my head, Jason?
I'd love to look directly into your head. Can you
Sweet.
present it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh.
But that's kind of it. That's all we have about Manfred Lorenz. Honestly, that's more information than I thought I was going to get, considering it's about a video game tycoon from 1996. So I don't know.
Well, one of the big things that we're going to have to look at is the actual, game itself that Mr. Adam Butcher receives, along with a couple other YouTube channels, apparently. It's very, very, very similar to any other N64 game that we all know and love. The best descriptor being it looks like fucking Mario 64.
It's a Mario clone.
Yeah.
It looks like Banjo-Kazooie. It looks like fucking, honestly, kind of like Spyro
Conker's
sometimes.
Bad Fur Day.
Yeah,
fucking,
there's a million of them.
Yeah, and so, the controls, the graphics, the camera, everything looks very similar. You're going to get a coin collecting system, just like you would in most platformers. But besides that, I want to go over what we're seeing played out.
Yeah. Because
this game is a lot different than the childhood 90s games that we know and love on the N64.
If I had gotten this game as a child, I probably wouldn't play video games again.
That's very true.
I would have grown up to be a much more successful podcaster.
So,
damn it!
I want to just kind of nutshell the gameplay footage that we see in Adam Butcher's video so that you guys can just kind of get an idea for what we're really, truly getting ourselves into. So let's talk about the gameplay a little bit, right? Yeah. The first thing that we see in his video is basically just a crow. He's standing there in a open field, just like you would assume. You get that classic circle transition that happens.
Yeah. Very old
most,
N64, where it's the title of the game just whom in.
Yes, it whom's in.
And this is we'll call this the first Catastrophe Crow gameplay footage, right? So he's walking around, he's kind of checking some stuff out. You see this big arch pathway and then an arch going over the pathway, and then you see this big building that says work on it. But once you walk into the work, you're kind of just transported into a very dull workplace. Nothing's really in it. There's no one there. You walk into a hallway and you see a crow kind of run through the hall, and he follows them. And once he follows this crow, he's going through all this more dead workspace pretty much. And then he kind of follows him and gets up on top of the building. And that's where he sees the crow at a workspace. And he starts talking to the crow, and you get this gobbledygook of nothingness from him. And then the game kind of just glitches super hard.
It's random, it's HQW.
Yeah, it's
somebody had a stroke at their keyboard.
Somebody just mushed the keyboard and was brr, 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 brr.
It's like when I fumbled the bag. Well, I guess
What?
I can't talk about this on the show, but I'm gonna cut this out if you want, Doug. I don't give a poop.
I don't know anything, but okay.
When I missed that interview, the first one, I was like, fuck. So I went to email like the people, and I was just so intent on just getting an email sent out. I didn't like reread it or check it. I went to send like, hi, this is Mike. I was supposed to interview this time, but instead it was, ho, this is Mike. And I'm like, fuck, no.
I can just imagine Mike
Assert
being
dominance.
in this fucking just like panic mode, just being like,
I called this lady a hoe.
Yeah, oh my God.
listen here, ho.
I was just in my shower, just angrily like soaping up, just fucking motherfucker, I fucked it up. I'm never gonna get this fucking job.
Call this lady a
bullshit.
hoe.
Yeah, I'm like, you're an idiot, Michael. You're an idiot. And Otto's just meowing at me like, meh. And I'm like, you're right. I'm a fucking idiot, Otto. God damn it.
Jesus.
Did he just look at you and go, Mao?
Wow.
Like a deep Mao?
Mao.
Mao. All right, anyways. So, so the game glitches, and it kind of like, it's very just ARG reminisce of how this thing glitches out and brings you back into the game. So you start right back where you're supposed to be. But we see him start trying new stuff. He's clicking on new things, jumping over things, doing stuff. And the game almost like seems like it wants you to break boundaries.
Yeah.
So now he starts like walking through walls, being out of gameplay
He could walk
territory.
through walls, disappear, and fly. He's much more unique than the other guys. It's the Danny Phantom theme song.
It's just crazy to me that we allow this man to be a part of this with us.
It's shit like that, Mike.
Danny Phantom.
This is
theme
your
song.
second warning today.
Butch Hartman is Doug's just no.
It's actually kind of crazy how just a couple of years, like 2-3 years, changes like all the shows you watched as a kid. Because I did not watch Danny Phantom.
Oh,
Same.
I fucking loved it. That's probably top show like cartoons ever for me. I fucking loved it.
So moving on. So let's see, where the fuck am I? So the game is like making you break these boundaries that a normal game wouldn't. You wouldn't just be walking through walls, glitching through stuff. He's basically like got God mode on, you know? And that's not how games typically operate.
Question: are you talking about when he's at work?
Yeah, so he goes through that wall between the filing cabinets.
You didn't mention this. Is the other reason I'm bringing it up is the only reason he knew to go into that wall because he sees that crow. Like, so in the first part of the video, it shows the crow inside work that he's following walk the other direction into that room with the computer and shit and blah blah blah. And the other time, it shows him leaving that room, walking down a hallway, and you see just a fucking wall. So he tries, and it's like, oh, look, there's a fuckload over here. Yep.
So he walks through that, and this is kind of where we get that sense of, okay, we're now breaking the rules of what a game typically has you do. So then, after he walks through the wall, he let's trigger warning.
Trigger warning!
We're going to start talking about a lot of...
Bad
unaliving
things.
yourself and the sorts.
Guys, it gets just sad from here. It's
dark and sad.
I understand. We're going to try and make jokes where we can, but this story, like from here, it made me very upset.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, so after he walks through the wall, he starts walking down this nothingness.
just
But
a
in the
black
distance,
void.
you see what looks like a boat with a crow on it. And then as soon as you get up to the boat, the crow is holding what looks like a laptop of sorts, and he just jumps off the boat and just starts going down.
Just sinks. And you see like the air bubbles.
Yeah. It's not great.
It left me with a very, very bad feeling.
Yeah, but it I don't know if the game like makes you follow him downwards or if you could control that. It's not very clear. But you end up, floating down with him and ending up in this weird forest with lots of fog. And it almost seems like the transition was kind of like supposed to be this way. Like a cutscene of sorts. That's why I wasn't sure if like the game made you do it or what happened exactly.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
until now, because it even gives you like that audio trigger and everything that happens. Yeah.
But once you get into this forest, if you start walking just a little ways forward, you come up to a grave site labeled Crow.
Hey, Queerdos. Henry and Aaron here.
If you're cruising to find a hot take or two on queer television and movies, look no further than our new podcast, Queer Clicker.
Thrust yourself into a queer scene in New Orleans with recaps of the latest reimagining, or requel if you will, the new Queer as Folk.
And so much more. Essentially an old married couple bicker at each other about things that happen on TV.
Consider yourself baited.
Subscribe and like today wherever you listen to podcasts.
Weird.
This is my son Crow. This is my daughter Crow. This is my dad Crow.
I'm Crow as well.
I'm Crow.
But yeah, you see this grave site, and there's a crow crying at the grave. And then the game mega breaks itself and glitches. And then you see like, I don't know, it's almost like you start tumbling or something, and then it's like the camera's like looking if you were like laying on the ground or something like that.
It's almost like you fell down. Like, so to get up to this grave site, you walk up this set of stairs, and then as soon as the crow like goes to walk back down, it's almost like the crow like falls the fuck down the stairs.
Yeah.
And can't move when he's at the bottom.
And he's life alert.
I've fallen. I can't get up.
Hell yeah. But yeah, you see these like weird like monsters like kind of like roll up to the camera, and then
and they roll up in the creepiest way.
Yeah,
they just like T-pose out of the fog. Yeah, it's very creepy.
Yep.
It's very, polygon, terrible animation, just like
And
we're here now.
graphics.
Yeah. But so once we see those monsters, the game glitches and takes you back to the beginning. But this time, you are in a terrible, horrible looking version of the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, it's all like fucked up.
Yeah, it is not great. So once you start to look around there, you actually end up inside of a home, which we'll probably mention a little bit more moving forward.
You spawn in. What happens is the camera like whips around. Like instead of normally
you're facing the work.
Yes, and whoever was playing the crow, what's his name?
Adam Butcher.
Adam,
Yeah.
Essentially just started exploring forward. He never took the time to turn the camera right around.
Yep.
This is the first video where he does like a face-on shot, and you see what's behind the crow, and you see a house.
Yeah. So once inside that house,
What an easy commute to work.
I know, right?
same.
Yeah, fuck you. I wish I could work from home.
Get out of bed, sit down in a chair. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, you're in this home, right? And once you start looking around, you're gonna see like what looks like a child's room. You enter this child's room. There is some labored breathing happening. It is actually horrible. I actually turned the sound off because I was like, this is literally making me feel weird.
It's
Dude,
so
I legit seeing this, I thought I was gonna start fucking crying. Like I don't know, like nothing about the content visually made me want to, but it's everything put together. I was like, this is the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's the act of like the crow like slowly walking into the room, and its eyes look so worried.
Yeah, and then you see what this crow is worried about.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a hospital bed with a fucking just lump of a what we would call crow, I guess, in like a hospital bed with like all these tubes hooked up to it. And then as soon as that happens, the room starts filling with water. And you get this water and everything kind of starts to freak out, and this terrible monster that we've seen before kind of drags the body away, and that's literally the end of his video.
Yep.
That's literally the end of his gameplay.
Yeah. So a lot of you might be wondering, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck indeed.
Hey, what the fuck?
So this is actually the first of several videos. Now, it's difficult. So the reason this one is so difficult to follow is because it's not one YouTube channel. This is where it gets a little bit different. we're actually going to get follow-ups to this video that are spread out over, I don't know, like 7 to 9 channels. I don't remember the exact number. But you've got channels such as 3D Planet Platformers NZ, Childhood Memory 64, N64 Long Lost Lore, 90s Retro Gaming Fred, N64 Excavation Man, and Ultra 64 Forever. There's a fuckload of people covering this shit. Now, for people to be covering a video game that never technically was put into production, that's kind of a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not inherently exclusive to just Adam Butcher. Like,
They actually like predate Adam Butcher as well.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these have dates that are previous to Adam Butcher's video. So we just heard all about Adam Butcher's episode with of kind of how Catastrophe Crow plays, kind of what it looks like. And we got a big shock because it was not what we thought it was at all. So the next video let's say in the timeline, I guess, because it took a bit to put all of this into fucking order. I'm not going to go through all that background, so just know that somebody out there has already put all of these videos in order for all of us, and we should all say a giant thank you to them.
Yeah, there is like a 70-page document that you can find if you just type in Catastrophe Crow, outline or information overview. Thank
synopsis,
you.
Whatever.
You will find a Google Doc.
Yeah, it's got
filled with shit,
everything that you would possibly need. So the next video that we get to is uploaded from a channel named 3D Platformers NZ, or I'm assuming New Zealand. And it's just simply called Catastrophe Crow 64. Now in this one, it's almost identical to the gameplay that we saw in the first video. It's almost like a continuation. So we saw everything that we saw before with the whole corrupted overworld thing, kind of what work looks like, what the home life looks like. Now we're going to go back to work. So one of the first things, I know, it's all depressing. So Crow walks into work.
This Crow out here working 40 hours a week and
at least 60.
At least 60-hour weeks is ridiculous.
So a crow walks into a bar.
There's no punchline because it's very sad.
You just get punched in the heart.
So we see this crow go to work, and instead of going to the normal places that we've seen, being like the office, the hallway, that weird anti-space behind the lockers, this time Crow enters an elevator. When he goes into the elevator, goes up, exits, and he enters this hallway. Now at one end of the hallway, we see this, it goes off into the distance. So the crow takes a left and hangs it towards the end of the other end. And at the end of this hallway, we see a filing cabinet and a computer. Now you can hear these weird sounds, kind of beep, 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 beep. I was going to say more like dash, 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 dot, dash, dot, 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 dash, something like that. And so he's like, okay, this is a fucking pointless hallway. So he turns around and goes back the other way. Well, now this long stretch of hallway that existed once has turned into the exact same hallway. So whoever's playing the crow is now trapped in this hallway with this fucking annoying beeping just going nuts. And that's the entirety of the other video.
So that computer that you were just talking about that had the weird boops and beeps.
And when they're trapped in the hallway.
Yeah, that's actually so internet sleuths. So if we haven't mentioned it by now, during the uploadings of these videos, there was an active community trying to figure this shit out. What is going on? What are these weird things we're seeing? What are the beeps? What does everything mean? And we actually get from that.
What's a crow?
That was the first question.
What it is?
We actually get from that computer, which is in Morse code. It says, "One I made myself." So also, because I had already mentioned this, that gobbledygook from the very first video where he's on top of the roof talking to the crow, that's what they've coined as crow language.
Yep.
So we might see this a little bit more.
Oh, we definitely
forward.
Do. Yeah.
But what we saw on the roof is it translates into "I am in hell." So let's keep those things in mind moving forward.
I am in hell.
So
what was the other one? One I made myself?
Yeah. That one doesn't make a lot of sense right now.
Well, no, he's in a hell that he made himself. He made his own hell.
Correct. But why?
But why?
That's the question here. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of this language. It's very.
Yeah.
It looks legit like it was just a syntax error for the game.
And don't worry, we'll mention how they found the crow language.
Oh, well, we will chock-a-block your fucking brain full of
Chock-a-block,
useless
yeah.
goddamn information about Catastrophe Crow. Don't you fucking worry.
Birds
So yeah,
to
that
a
was
feather.
the video named Catastrophe Crow 64 by the uploader 3D Platformers NZ. Now we move to one by the same uploader named it's just called Video. Very original, I know. They hit the nail on the head.
Me posting to Patreon.
Video now.
Shut up, here it is.
Here, have a video. Hope you like it, you stupid.
So this one starts off just like pretty much all of the other ones, or the two that we've seen. The crow shows up at like on this little bridge area. You see the work, you see the fields, you see this like half completed bridge or arch over the middle of the map. This time, whoever's controlling Catastrophe Crow decides to scale one side of this little half bridge just to see if they can jump across. First time they go up there, they fall. So they try the other side. Same thing happens, they fall. When they go back to the other side, they start running up to jump again, and you see an identical crow running up the other side, to which both of them jump, they smack in the middle, and they fall through 3 separate versions of the world. Glitch
Talk
is
about the multiverse of madness.
this was the first
We
version
weren't.
of that. Damn it. So after he's done falling, you end up in like this like goldish beige tunnel. Crow goes forward. You see a bunch of these little blocks, and every time you go over one, it like makes a different sound. And there's 3 sets of them, all in different numbers, all with different noises. And at the very end, you get to this clearing where the crow kind of joins up with 2 of the monsters that we saw previously, as well as one other figure that honestly I couldn't really make out too much. If I were to fathom a guess, it was the belabored, fucked up, heavy breathing crow that we saw earlier.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's just a guess. I don't know, Doug. Do you got anything to say about this one?
Yeah, actually. So those fucking weird cubes have all these weird noises, and I'm going to save you the trouble of explaining everything. But every cube that you hit plays a different noise, and this actually plays into another video that we'll go over probably right after this. But basically, when you translate those noises into a cipher and then into a couple other things, we actually get a code from the noises from the block.
Do you want me to go over how we figured, like,
If you want, yeah. I was
'Cause it's the
gonna
same bit.
just save the trouble of, because there's 2. There's
actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, go over that. Go over how they figured it out.
well,
Yes, it is the next video.
yeah. So these cube noises actually lead up to a keyboard thing that I'm sure you're gonna go over in a minute.
Yep.
But these specific cubes, when you're walking through the tunnel, translate into, "This is only for your brother now."
Oh, God, knowing.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And it still leaves us with little to no information.
None.
So now we go on to the next video, I say.
Yeah, no. So the next video is actually how we get this cipher. So the last one, we had a bunch of cubes that made different noises, and as Doug said, it said, "This is for your brother now." The reason we know that those cubes that make sounds translate to that is because when you walk through them, they make noises. In this next video, named Catastrophe Crow Underground Level, by the uploader of Childhood Memories 64, it shows the crow, just like before, except this time he's kind of running around a field, just all over the place, and all of a sudden he drops. It reminded me of the fucking Mario 64, those yellow fields that some of them you could stand still in and teleport.
Yeah.
Very
What?
similar to me. You never knew that?
I never played a Mario
yeah. There's
64.
several fields that like skip 3/4 of the level for you as
Oh.
long as you know they're there. But no, so this is very, very similar to that, and it shows the crow playing around in it, and all of a sudden he disappears because he falls, and you see like this underground tunnel that he's basically now in. You can't see much of it. He jumps out, goes back in, and he starts following like this winding path. At the very end of it, he gets to this like giant computer screen and keyboard. Like the keyboard, like he's the size of one of the keys. and he just starts running around on it. And every once in a while, he'll go over a key and it turns green. The thing you need to listen to, though, are the sounds being made when he steps on the keys of the keyboard. The reason we know what those cubes in the last video said are because the sounds made in that video and the noises made in this one are the same, except this time we get green on top of the letter that equates to whatever sound is being made. All you gotta do is remember what sounds are being made, play the video before this, find them in order, and then equate letters to sounds. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Well, so let me explain this just in like for stupid.
Thank you for looking directly at me when saying for stupid.
So he was directing it at you.
This is my topic.
so each cube, as you walk through it in that first tunnel in the last video, makes a noise. Each letter on the keyboard represents one of those noises. You'd have to sit and look at that video, write down each noise to each letter. That's how we got that first cipher. Moving forward.
Thank you. I'm not stupid anymore.
So once the crow is done running around on these keys, you get like the celebration noise, and this ramp appears that leads up to the computer monitor. So the crow walks up the ramp, and the computer monitor kind of opens, and you see a very blown up version of a crow's head just spinning violently inside this computer monitor. And that's the end of the video.
Is that what computers run on? Is
Crow
just a
power?
Like
Yeah.
if you
Mine runs on a Doritos.
if you open your laptop right now, Doug, will there just be a bunch of crow's heads just
I hope.
powering it?
All right, guys, we'll be back in about 20 minutes. We have something we need to get the bottom of.
So real quick, so in the video that you were just talking about, you see him running over the keys, kind of just like blind luck hitting correct keys. So it doesn't seem to like reset. It's like, all right, you hit the right one, got a green, bada boom, bada bing. It actually does spell out another message. So the keyboard itself, the code to unlock the big crow head, I guess, translates into "Please forgive me, both of you."
God. I wish I didn't know the end of this.
It's getting
I wish,
very ominous.
Yeah, it's building for sure, and you should be feeling a slight sense of dread at this point, because I know I was in these videos, because you're realizing, something's very fucking wrong.
My asshole's in my tummy.
There's no way this is the game. There's no way that this guy who has won awards for video game design and creation is going to make this and put it out, especially under the guise of a video game that's made for children, because that's what he was doing it. That's why he was doing it.
Yeah, this is definitely like a Banjo-Kazooie-ish.
Yes, it's very Banjo-Kazooie, except for the content. The content is ye. So after this weird ass computer crowhead video, we get another one called Catastrophe Crow N64 playthrough by the N64 Long Lost Lore channel. This one, it took me a second to realize why they included it, just because it's fucking stupid. But one of the first things you see is like he's running around just like normal. He opens up his menu, which is something we haven't seen yet, and we get all the words in English. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever. Closes it. Runs around. You see, it's a lot more finished game at this point. The chess pieces are moving around. There's more upbeat, happy music. There's more going on to this level. And this is the same level where we saw the crow on the roof of the building with all the different pieces, with the numbers on the floor. And that's where he said, I'm in hell, more or less. Same scene, except this time everything's moving around. So he runs around for a bit, and instead of going up the tower like he normally does, he runs to the edge of the map, and there's this little area where you can hang off. So he hangs off, and he starts scooting around the edge of the fence, which you normally can't move by. And underneath the map, he finds this house that's made out of letter blocks of C-R-O-N-W. Very fitting.
What does that spell?
Crow! Work. With a C.
There it is.
But honestly, there's not a whole lot after that. He sees the house, he goes inside. That's about it.
This is where he sees, just to confirm, a giant tower of letters at one point, right?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Thank you. So yes. But so as he's like climbing around the fucking oh no, I'm sorry, at the end of this. So after he exits the house, he comes back out to the overworld. One of the things that he notices is like off in the distance, there's this something spinning, almost like it's like way outside the world. And so he starts walking, and there's an invisible bridge. He crosses it, he gets to it, and it's a boat. As he collects it, he spins the camera around, and it's almost like he intentionally pauses for a split second so you
What
can
that
see
is?
behind him. It's a giant. It's the building that you climbed before is made out of these letter blocks.
Yeah, and so those letter blocks are another Crow language cipher.
Shocker.
Shh, you want the shocker?
I got one pinky and 2 other fingers for you if you need it.
I have 4 pinkies.
I got 14 pinkies. So yeah, once he spins around, he sees these letter blocks, and in the Crow in the Crow cipher, I guess we'll call it, is written out, "Please forgive me, my little crow."
Yep, more ominous messaging about
Crows.
It's starting to get more and more pointed to like somebody addressing like one of their children. To me, anyway, at this point in the series, it's like who else calls like their kids like my little crow or this or like I don't know. To me, it just seems like something happened, and he's just not over it. Whoever this is,
Whomst.
So that's the Catastrophe Crow 64 playthrough video. The next one we get to is called CC64 Menu. CC obviously standing for Catastrophe Crow.
Oh.
This is also by the N64 Long Lost Lore channel. This one's a very, very straightforward, boring video, and it is simply an expansion pack test. All it says, it shows like the screen for if you have the Rumble pack from when I used to have the N64. It like confirms it and shit, like very nostalgic.
You rumbling?
I'm always rumbling. So it goes through this test, and then it goes through a calibration test of the joystick. Now, this goes on for far longer than it should. Absolutely far longer, but there's a very fucking good reason for why.
And that reason is the controller's joystick is giving us another cipher.
Another cipher.
So if, you're fucked up in the head and you want to sit there and decipher this, feel free. But I'll tell you right now what it is. So if you're looking at the controller, it's like pointing in different directions very periodically. I actually didn't write down what cipher this was, but long story short, it translates into "I was too afraid."
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful stuff.
More ominous messaging. And honestly, that's the last video that I'm going to cover front to back like I have been, just because all of these videos are very similar to what I've been talking about. It's just
Forgot something in that video, actually.
Oh.
There's some weird noises going on.
Oh, yeah.
The noises from that same video actually decoded into binary and then translated through base 64 lead you to a picture of the monsters that we've been seeing's face.
Yeah, it's just the face.
Yeah, and as far as I know right now, it just looks like a heap of horrible. So
Yep.
It's a heap of horrible.
Heap of horrible. But yeah, no, like, so after the menu, so that's the one before that, where we get the Crow language cipher. Honestly, from what I've found, that's one of the most important ciphers. There's another one coming up pretty quick that gives you like this huge grid to basically decipher everything else in the series. I can't remember which fucking video that's from, but it gives you everything that you need. You're going to go through more gameplay. You're going to see more of the Crow exploring. You're going to see the Crow exploring things that have already been explored into a greater depth. And you're going to, after this point, you're going to start realizing very fucking quickly what this is actually about. So instead of boring you with all the detailed motions of what Catastrophe Crow does in this video and what that means, Doug, do we just kind of want to go over the ciphers hidden and what all of those kind of point to?
yeah, so I'm gonna go over a couple super quickly here. there's a teddy bear puzzle that happens in one video. And this video, you see him like walking along this red path and then coming up to a teddy bear. When you interact with it, it gives you this like weird, like
glitchy text.
This one actually translates from the Crow language into "I'm sorry, I cannot be with you" in the end. But there's another cool thing in this one is that the music in the background, if you put that through a cipher, it actually leads you to an image of an Ankh. So we're getting this weird Egyptian theme starting to happen, and pyramids come into a big play in this whole thing too.
The Egyptian culture.
My guy's got a fetish for the Scorpion King.
We get a couple other ciphers after they find the music cipher. It leads to someone basically uploads a video of Ocean Quest, another game by Opus Games, and or Opus Interactive or whatever the fuck it's called. And basically, someone realized that the music for Ocean Quest was literally his family's names put into just like a musical format.
How the fuck do you figure that shit out?
Dude, it was wild. Some guy like found in like Crow 64, he found like audio bits that sounded the same as in Ocean Quest.
Yep.
And the audio bits from Crow already had like a cipher to it. So he just separated every little bit from Ocean Quest and put it with the cipher from Crow 64.
The dedication that's insane.
So
it's nuts.
So real quick, there's two other ciphers. There's one that happens in one channel where you go over a bridge and then you change from Catastrophe Crow to like a new Crow almost. And you actually end up playing as more than one Crow in the game.
Yeah, we didn't mention that before, but the Crows actually look a little different. And
there's like four iterations.
Yeah,
four iterations.
There's one with a cast. There's a bigger one. There's one with glasses. There's I think just a smaller, normal looking one.
Yeah.
And it's changing like, on and off. Like I would say pretty regularly, and you wouldn't even really realize it.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell just because of the whole polygonal shit. But so when they found that Ocean Quest music, basically after this there's an uploaded video where you see the Crow, like whoever's playing, you see them find a codex. They go across a bridge and then they do something where basically they end up like flying up onto a roof. And it like in every video you see there's like new mechanics almost where they're like doing different things, but
they discover how to like open a vent. They discover like if you jump in certain hallways you can find a path made of red. They've discovered how to fly. Like,
so when they get to that codex, this is actually what led people on the internet to figure out like what the names of his family were, which is why they looked into the Ocean Quest music and they found the names of his family. So in the codex, it actually has you enter some codes, and they use the names of his.
This was so fucking cool. This was so cool. I'm sorry.
No, you're
so
good.
Excited.
So they find out that his
Doug, shut up! I'm very happy.
So they find out that his son's name is Nils, and if you put that into the codex, it gave "I'm alive." And then if you put in Thea, it gave "not for you."
Mm-hmm.
And if you put
I'm alive, but not for you.
And if you put in Crow, it says "for another Ken."
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and not like KEN, but like KIN, as in like
child.
family.
Yep.
So we get all this like crazy shit, and there's actually two more codes that I'm not going to go over right this second, because what I'm going to go up, the next thing I want to talk about is the startup screen.
Yeah.
The whole entire game.
Let's do that.
All right, so one thing I want to go over right now is the intro to the game. Like you press the button forward on the N64 and the
red light comes on.
Exactly. You get what looks like just like some like error. Like it's not even an error. It's just like a bunch of like, if you have like, you ever see when like someone sends an emoji but you don't have the emoji and it's just
the
a
box
square?
with the X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bunch of that, but then there's like
it's
a
like
few,
a dev screen or some shit.
Yeah, and then there is a few spaces that have what we now know to be Crow language mixed in with just those boxes. So if we take all of the ciphers that we've found so far, minus 2 of the ones that I didn't mention yet, which are in this, that I didn't go over, but just to make sure that no one connected the dots before I got to say this, because, swish. This is what we get at the startup screen. Dearest Thea, and this is written in the Crow language at the top, and the rest of it is blocks except for like
it's like
one
missing.
part.
It's like a wheel of fortune. It's missing blanks. You got to fill them in.
Yeah. So, dearest Thea, I am sorry I could not be with you in the end. I was too afraid. I ran, and now I am in hell. One I made myself. I dreamed of you playing this one day, but you never will. Please forgive me, little crow. Please forgive me, both of you. Dad, which is spelled in Crow language. And then, this is only for your brother now. That's what the startup screen says.
That's literally
Fun.
a conglomeration
Of all of the ciphers.
all the ciphers you're going to find.
Exactly.
Which means what you just told us should, in theory, put the videos, if they're not already, because I didn't go back and check. Why would I? In chronological order, yeah?
They kind of did. Almost. We were almost there.
Okay.
But some of them were out of order, but it's okay because it all ends up making sense in the end. So real quick, I'm going to touch on just a couple other things. So we get a couple other...
No, I don't want him to.
This has been Don't Look Under the Internet.
I want him to stop.
Bye.
This man's been talking for like 30 seconds now, and I'm done.
That is the threshold for Mike typically.
Yeah, usually.
It's blame the ADD.
So
Blame it on my ADD.
not a sponsor.
Boats. There's boats in this.
There's
that
so
makes
many
sense.
boats.
Hey, Segway bird scooter.
So we get another like couple uploads that give us a few random ciphers that I guess kind of tie into everything. And I'm just gonna kind of explain them real quick. All right, so in some of the other uploads that we get the first cipher, which is all things live on somehow. All things live on somehow. And then we go to another video, and then we get another cipher that says, "So long have you feared the leap." They kind of play in everything, kind of don't. It's kind of loose as far as that goes. But all these channels that have been, uploading these videos, we finally get a sense of like what they are.
This was as soon as this was revealed to me, I got goosebumps. I was like, "Holy fuck, this was cool!" But please go ahead.
Yeah, because I personally didn't connect the dots at all. So we've got so these are the channels, right? We've got N64 Excavation Man. We've got 90s Retro Gaming Fred. We've got N64 Long Lost Lore and 3D Platformers NZ.
What characteristic of all of those names do they share?
Do you think it's those words that I put "imph" into?
It might have been.
Because if you put them all like, top down, we've got Man Fred Lore Ends.
Oh, who the fuck did I talk about at the beginning of this goddamn episode?
Kyle.
Kyle Lorenz, his long lost twin brother. No, Manfred fucking Lorenz.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because when I learned that, I was just like, motherfuckers were right in front of us the whole time.
We've been staring at it since we started looking at this.
Motherfuckers played me. So once the internet figured this out, they just had a fucking field day with everything. Basically, so they got a clue to this, and it said something about joining the emails in order. That's how they figured it out. And then all of their emails for YouTube basically gave this all away, right? So once someone reached out from the community and figured out what these meant, someone left a message on one of the YouTube channels, and it just read, "My dearest boy, I have much to say about your birthday and is not too far from now. I hope we can meet the day after in a place that we holidayed every year. I will be there. Signed, M. So
this is a heavy one.
the internet does what it does best and responded again, and we got another response, and it said, I wish to believe you. I understand now that this met more eyes than those for which it was intended. I can only hope the true recipient is among them. I will be waiting. So obviously we have this weird kind of realization that maybe Manfred Lorenzo isn't quite dead after all, and is searching for his boy, Nils. Now, I don't think we've really explained what's happened so far.
I mean, we've only mentioned the names that you just mentioned, like maybe once, maybe twice, because
3 times a lady.
there it is. Going through this, none of those fucking names lend anything to the gameplay you're watching. None of them. Like, if you think of, like, fuck it, Banjo-Kazooie. Who developed that, Doug?
Rockstar.
Rare.
No,
I know.
like one person. No, like one
I knew
person
that
name. Who was the person in charge?
Rare.
The person.
Rare.
Oh, the man named Rare, of course.
Yes,
But
Rare.
like, you don't ever know that. So when we're going through this and we see a fucking mental break happening in a video game, who's to say that this hasn't happened more? That this is like that fucking GoldenEye isn't the product of somebody going batshit insane and creating a great game. You know what I mean? Like it's this is once we learn this is very important information, we can actually start looking at the little details in each one of the episodes or from the different uploaders. It's so very fucking cool.
Well, not only that, but there's a lot of story about Manfred Lorenzo that we kind of didn't give away in the beginning as well. So
Purposefully.
once we have all of this knowledge, what are we fucking talking about, Mike?
You see, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
You'll see. To put it in the easiest way,
Mm-hmm.
man-made game. There it is. No,
That's
so I
the
guess
whole story.
I guess the best way to sum it up without, to make it as easy as possible, this guy, Manfred, worked with Opus Interactive, which, do you still get triggered by the word Opus like I do?
I saw it and I hated it as soon as I
Okay,
saw it. I was
dope.
like, fuck
Dope.
that.
It was our old operating system at AT&T.
It's the worst.
But this guy Manfred was given this drawing from his daughter of a crow with a cast on, and she called it Catastrophe Crow, and he's like, I'm gonna make a game out of this. It's gonna be a game for you. Like, this is my thing for you, my daughter. And as he's making this game,
My little crow,
he seems to be spending most, if not all, of his time at the office developing this game with his Opus Interactive, his people. His daughter assumedly falls down the stairs. Something happens to her where she is dying.
Okay, yeah, keep going. I have a bit of a different interpretation, but please.
Something happens to the daughter where she is dying, and he doesn't really have a way to see her before she dies. So he's working constantly at this game. His daughter dies. He's not having a good time, obviously. So he just goes on this fucking, like, I don't know what to call it other than like an emotional down spiral, like down the fucking drain. He kicks everyone out of the studio. He locks himself in the studio and basically just focuses all of his energy on this game. Starts putting in weird shit, obviously.
Very
obviously.
obviously.
Basically putting his trauma into this game, telling the story of his daughter's death, sort of. Up until, it's taking so much of his time and effort, and he's not focusing on anything else. He's not, getting in contact with his family as often. He's not paying attention to what's going on outside of the office, to the point where when the debt collectors come because they're not making it a game and they're shutting down his studio, he just fucking dips because he just realizes like, oh shit, everything's gone. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he just decides.
So he commits grand larceny.
Yeah, he steals everything and just decides, I'm done, and drowns himself. Basically, jumps off a boat out of grief, and leaves this game, I guess you could say,
as his legacy. But
thank you. Yeah, as his legacy, but it wasn't developed.
It was never finished
until it's seen by the people, and then we find out he may still be alive. So TLDR, man grieving over dead daughter makes video game based off of daughter's character.
Also, find crazy notes to family and
in the game, like we said, it's kind of like a legacy. Like he's leaving all these breadcrumbs for essentially no one because it wasn't supposed to see the public yet. But it was one of those things where whoever stumbled upon it.
What was that fun quote that he says?
Oh, yeah.
It's quoted on the fucking fandom wiki at like the very top of the page.
The player one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he basically while all the staff is like leaving, an ex-staff member mentions in 2001, he's like, we need to get this fucking game out there, and the staffer says, think of the player, release the game, and Manfred replies, the player is gone.
Oops. Home.
Meaning his daughter. This game was for his daughter.
That fucking cuts deep. Like, as soon as I realized when I was watching through these that is what he was referring to when he said that, it's
pretty fucky.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so fucking sad.
It's pretty fucky. We do get a little bit more information about the game.
I want it.
Okay.
I have all I need.
Goodbye, everybody. It's not like a whole heck of a lot, but it's nice to have this because you could find more, puzzles and whatnot in it.
Yeah, you love puzzles, Mike.
Boy, do I. So you actually, a staffer by the name of Ulrich Otterman uploads to Twitter, and he uploads like Opus interactive documents. He uploads a YouTube channel under the same name, and it does the same things.
Just a heads up, these are some of the videos that I went ahead and skipped because at the time we were talking about them, it really didn't fucking matter. But now that we know kind of more of the story,
it do be mattering a little bit.
All of it matters.
But he uploads, he's like, hey, I found an old hard drive from when I worked at Opus Interactive, and it's got a lot of the assets from the game. Like, here they are, and he just uploads them.
So, real quick, think if you were able to like open Catastrophe Crow inside of like Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
This is what they were kind of going over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
but in Opus.
Little fucking Easter egg here. You actually can probably find this version somewhere.
Oh, I'll get there.
Oh, nice.
So here's the fun thing. So in this, he starts to upload like basic things at first. He uploads like blueprints and schematics for like the models for like coins and chess pieces that you could find in the game. Basically just straight up assets. Ulrich was eventually able to upload the entire workstation that he got off of an old hard drive, but it needed a password in order to get into it. The internet figured out the password pretty damn quick because they're like, I want to get into this fucking game and see what's going on. And after they got that password, the entire game's Unity project was open to the internet. And you might be thinking, Unity? That wasn't around when the N64 came out.
No, not even remotely.
Yeah. But you could find a text file labeled Unity, which is what they called like one of Opus Interactive's like systems. They just called it like Unity before Unity was a thing.
So not referring to the German knockoff multiplayer Slenderman game that came from Unity or anything of the such?
No, but now, ironically, the game is run off of Unity. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes. But when looking through the game files, you can find assets from each world in the game. You even find those monsters that
Oh,
are
the
reoccurring in the game. You
T-Man?
find, yeah, T-Man.
Let's call him T-Man.
Yeah, you find,
Half-Life
like-
had G-Man.
This is T-Man.
T-Man.
Yeah, you find like the assets for those creatures, and you can get a more detailed look at them. You find like a scarecrow creature and shit. You
Which is
find
incredibly detailed for an N64
For-
game.
yes,
Like
yeah.
the actual model.
Which I can't say it, so let's keep going.
you find a detailed boat asset. You also find all of the crow models that you play as in the game. You play as 4 different crows, and they're all here in the game, or in the game file here. You can find the dying crow asset in that room with like the hospital bed and everything. But if you back out far enough, the walls and floor will be replaced with an image of Manfred's family.
Oh my god, that goes back to one of the first fucking videos where, not the first one, it's like the second or third, where you revisit the office where the phone was ringing.
Yep.
There used to be a picture of Manfred's family, person form, and as he literally, it's the last frame you see as he jumps off the desk. You have to pause it. His entire family turns into crows.
That's those monsters. Turns into monsters.
No, it's
crows.
So
It's 100% a family of
the
crows.
dad and daughter is crow,
Crows.
and then the
And then
wife
there's
and the son are monsters.
The monster and then the little monster. Yeah, it's you
Very
will
weird.
never find
Yeah.
this until you get to where Mike is talking about. It's
very weird.
Oh, so good.
You also stumble across another room called the resting place, which is just a dark black room, and it's got a box in it, and the box is labeled Nels. What's in the box, you might wonder? If you erase the box, what's in the box?
It's Brad Pitt's wife's severed head.
Yeah. If you erase the box texture, it's a Crow 64 cartridge.
Ooh.
Almost like he's leaving this game to his son.
Yep.
Crazy, right?
Since he can't leave it for
there's-
the intended
Yes.
recipient.
There's also some codes that go unsolved to this day that you can find. For example, in one of the last, did you guys mention the emails yet?
We vaguely touched on part of the content. That's about it, though.
So once you put the names of the YouTube channels in order, you get like another like hidden code in like the description for some of the YouTube channels saying like check the email.
Yeah. I touched on it, but
Yeah.
Probably go
on
into
it.
it.
Yeah, and that email.
This was like the
you
final
go,
piece.
Yeah, if you go in that email, you can find like chat chains between like a man named M, who was Manfred,
Ooh.
probably, and his son. He's like giving him emails. He's like, oh, we'll meet together on your birthday in that one place. Like I believe you mentioned it before.
Yeah.
But people think that these leftover codes in this Unity project are the birthday and where they used to holiday together. And that has yet to be solved.
yeah, they
It's
haven't
still
found
going
out
on.
the
Yeah.
birthday. I know that's a big thing still. So
There might be some story element here that we've been missing.
I mean,
Just because
Catastrophe
we have-
Crow in general, technically it's still going on, but
there
there's
were so many ciphers and so many numbers
Yes.
and like
It reminded me of fucking Markovian parallax denigrate. I know we haven't touched on that one yet. That one's literally just ciphers
ew.
in the form of every
No.
type. I can't wait to cover that one. I'm so excited to see Mike's face when we do it.
this will be an episode where Jason info dumps on just us too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm gonna be fucking masturbating the entire time I'm talking because it's honestly I love that one and I love that it's so out there that no one solved it. We're not talking about that right now. We're still talking about Catastrophe Crow.
I mean, we're done. Like
We are
that's
done.
that's Catastrophe Crow. It's left kind of open ended. There's not too much more information about it. And I know we kind of, I wouldn't say butchered it, but we skimmed over some stuff, which is fine. Because there's so much information
so
in
much.
this.
It'll
to
do
go
you
over
more justice to just watch.
yeah.
to go over every single detail will just be way too much, and that it's not entertaining after a certain point. It's just
Well, that's why we're here.
this cipher does this, and then you put it
Yeah.
in this. It's not as fun. Like listen to me just say poo poo pee pee. That's all you need.
No, we're here to
But here's the thing.
remove that step. We're here to give you the actual information that matters.
Here's the fun thing, though, boys. Catastrophe Crow,
Yes.
real or fake?
Let's fucking do it.
On go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Real.
You didn't let me say go.
Well,
Fake.
I was too excited.
Fake.
Okay.
You think real? Okay. Well, before we get to you, Doug, why do you think it's fake?
Oh, you're gonna be so upset with me, but okay.
Well, you're the odd one out, so I want to hear what you say. Yeah.
Because it was made by a man named Adam Butcher.
Because, like, yeah.
Jason, why do you think it's real?
Well, I saw somebody holding a cartridge that had the word Catastrophe Crow in Sharpie written on it, so
Must
I
be
don't
real.
really need any other evidence.
That's true.
Oh, that's real as fuck.
yeah, that's real.
That's what I'm saying.
No, fake.
It's fake as fuck.
Yeah, it's fake. It's co-made by Adam Butcher and some other mysterious
And
person.
if you dig a little bit into Adam Butcher's past videos / YouTube happenings, you will find another kind of similar-esque story by the name of Internet Story, which he's very well known for. That's actually what put him on the map. It's one of the more well-known.
Adam Butcher makes some of the highest quality
Yes.
shit, man.
So, and honestly, I'm pissed that I didn't know any of this before you showed us this topic.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of Adam Butcher, Internet Story, what have you, but I'm so happy we found it.
It's kind of sad because, like, I used to just look at this stuff all the time and just watch stuff all the time. But now that we're, like, weekly recording and researching, it's like, well, I can't look up new stuff and, like,
I gotta focus on this
I
thing.
don't have time. I need to know this one 100% in and out.
Yeah. So
I get it. So, like, I think we're learning about less, but we're learning more about less,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, 2 months will be, a year and a half we've been doing this. So that's a year and a half that I haven't been watching
Doing this for
new
fun.
ARGs and shit. Yeah, just on my off time.
Good job, guys. You turned this recreational pastime for us.
You turned a
into
hobby-
fucking job.
You turned a hobby into a stressful thing. No, but I just want to give shout outs to Adam Butcher because, I mean, fuck. And you know the best part?
He's not even a butcher.
He's not. You can fucking play Catastrophe Crow.
Yes, you can.
If you go to that link in Ulrich's Twitter,
Yep.
you can download the game and fucking play Catastrophe Crow. You
Or
yourself,
go to the Reddit. They've
yeah,
got
go to the
like
Reddit.
19
You
links
yourself can play it right now, and all of its glitchy weirdness and all, and you can help solve the problem that is Catastrophe Crow. Although I will say, if you go to the subreddit, everyone there almost always agrees Catastrophe Crow is done. It's dead. They don't think it's going to continue forward,
They
unfortunately.
don't, but they're
but
also
it could be
fucking casuals.
Yeah, it could continue forward, and you could find the hidden code that and finishes the story. Who knows? Because it's kind of up in the air. Where is Manfred? Is he alive? Who knows?
Actually, so
what's the birthday?
I
Where's
actually
the
do
holiday?
know what happened with Manfred. So the only Manfred that actually has existed by that name is somebody who ran a football team from like 1948 to like 1962 or
So
something.
he developed Catastrophe Crow, went back in time and was like, "Yeah, I'll coach the Jets."
He died of ass cancer.
Non-American
Have
football. Let's
ass
go.
kids. But yeah, I just go give Adam Butcher the views because he's one of those guys that like get fucked by the YouTube algorithm because he will only put out like one video every month at the most, but it's such high quality.
Yeah,
But because he's
very good.
because he's not churning shit out like fucking YouTube wants your slave labor ass to do, he doesn't get as many views as he should. So go to Adam Butcher's fucking YouTube.
Stick it to the man, break the system.
Yeah, look
fuck
up all
YouTube's
look up all
algorithm.
this stuff. It's amazing. But that's Catastrophe Crow. I just want to go ahead and say linktree.com/dilutipod. You can find links to literally everything. Everything. Diluti. On our socials.
Mike, that seemed kind of pointed.
I have had like, I shit you not, 10 people, and this is not a dig at any of you people because you probably just didn't see the tab, but I've had like 10 people message me on like Twitter and Instagram like, hey, I couldn't find the Patreon link.
There's literally one sitting at the it goes to Patreon if you click the words that
Well,
say
also-
support the show. at
Well,
the bottom
no.
of
Here's the thing.
episode.
Here's the thing. Not only do I say go to patreon.com/dilutipod every episode, but also in the link tree. If you click on the tab called Patreon,
Now,
you'll see it right there.
I know this
So,
sounds like Mike is calling all of our listeners
I am not.
absolute
I am not.
idiots.
No.
He's not doing that.
1,000% is.
you. No, but I'm just putting Linktree. The Linktree has every link to all of our socials And if you want to support the show, it has all the links to do so there as well. Patreon.com/DeludiePod, buymeacoffee.com/DeludieCod, which Tenmon Lee, I think, bought us some beers. What's up, my guy? Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
You're paying for our drinking habit next week.
Thank you so much. All of our socials were DeludiePod or Don't Look Under the Internet. YouTube, Don't Look Under the Internet. That link is also in the link tree. That's the point of the link tree. You can get some merch. We have merch going on right now.
Keep your eye out, because
If you just search DeludiePod in Google,
You get
the
everything.
first thing that comes up is our Patreon.
Yeah, there you go.
there you go.
And a picture of me and Jason
Yep.
from Twitter.
Fucking each other. Probably.
You can on Spotify. You know, if you guys have been excellent on Spotify, I love
Dude,
it.
we're almost 100.
Please,
148.
we're at 166 now.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
please keep giving us 5-star reviews.
Wait, where are we at?
166.
Hey, you know what that means?
I'm almost there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once we hit 200 reviews on Spotify,
34 more.
Doug takes over the Twitter for a day. But you know, we need it so other people like you, awesome cult members from Deludistan, can.
Oh my God! Can we
so-
announce this?
Sure, go ahead. But I just want to say so we can spread the message of Deludi to everybody outside of the country of Deludistan.
Absolutely, but it's also important that we build a very firm and structural and just very intact foundation for the beginnings of Deludistan. And the reason I say this is because our Discord channel has been fucking hopping.
Yes, Discord link is in the description,
Yep.
or the linktree.com.
Go there, go see what the buzz is about. But they've been talking, they've basically dubbed us the beginning of a
nation?
new country or a new nation named Deludistan. Now, I know that we just kind of briefly talked about this, but I think we're all kind of on board with this little competition that we've been throwing around. We are looking for a national flag. And we want all of you wonderful people to do your best. Don't worry. It can be as shitty, it can be as awesome as you think. It's just make us a flag, make something that represents the nation of Deludistan.
So I want to make this clear. You got to be in our Discord.
Yes.
You need to send it to us in the general chat or
Or
A
private
chat.
message us or whatever.
Put
Yes.
it in the core episodes.
Oh, core episodes.
Yeah, put it in the core episodes. Make us a Deludistan flag.
Yes.
So this is going to be a competition. The reason I say that is because whoever makes what we dub as the new Nation of Deludistan flag is going to get said flag, and it's going to be huge.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to be as big as this one.
I don't know
think
if
it's
it's
right.
that one's
unnecessary.
fucking large.
We will basically
Yeah.
what we want to do is we want to send one of you guys this flag. We'll obviously make one for ourselves to hang in our studio because, you know, why wouldn't we?
Obviously.
But yeah, so there's no real time limit on this
No.
right now. Probably give it a couple 2-3 weeks.
We literally started talking about this today, but it's such a fucking good idea that yes, let's do this. And honestly, okay,
So if you're listening live, you have a head start on everyone. But starting on Monday when this drops,
how about we say the end date for this one will be
My birthday. July.
I was gonna say July 12th.
Okay.
Or the 19th. That works too.
My birthday's the 20th. So
That's why I'm saying. So okay,
give me a birthday gift. For a birthday present from me to you,
Yes.
we will pick a winner.
the 19th of July, we will decide which one represents the country of Deludistan the best, and you will receive a giant ass flag. We'll get in contact with you, all that good stuff. But I'm so fucking excited about this. I'm so excited about Discord. You guys have been developing things around us that we never even thought to develop. You guys are basically giving us a backstory that didn't exist. It's
Yeah,
fucking
right?
fantastic. I love it. So go check out the Discord.
Yup.
Go hang out with some cool people. If you want to hang out with the dude that made the sun vanished, he's occasionally in there. There's
And CHSS.
yeah, the guy who made CHS. Like, there's a lot of creators that drop by our channel just to say hi, just to check it out. So, please go say hi back. They would love it. We would
CHSS
love it.
guy follows us on Twitter.
I also
That's
want to
fucking
just
crazy.
address something that's coming up live via the Discord. We will probably have whoever wins the flag competition, we will let the flag probably go on our Teespring for like a week or so.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it off. Because a lot of people are asking if they can buy it. So
Yes, you will be able to. Don't worry.
Just limited time, limited supply.
We're building this plane as it takes off.
Seriously.
Speaking of what I mentioned before all this as well, Spotify reviews. We need them, love them, appreciate them. Anything you can do for us. Apple reviews are just as important. I've been lacking on, saying the Apple reviews because I said I would do that like many moons ago and never did.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read off a couple of these because
you did some for last week.
I did not.
Pretty sure I edited that, but okay.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, so I'm gonna read off a couple of them here, just because I like them. Jack 23600 says, "I love the podcast. Next, don't hug me. I'm scared." 3.5 out of 2.5 stars. Love Jack. We have from fire_fire_fire. Came for the analog horror. Stayed for the hilarious conversations. We have Nightmare 5690 that said, "The podcast is very unique and funny. It's also just overall great."
Love it. Thank you, Windows 95. I love you too.
Our boy Zane Graves, with the dopest last name ever, said, "There's weird crap out there on the internet. Let these handsome lads give you a tour."
That is how I know you did this last time, because you read that exactly
Oh,
in the last episode.
Well, here's another one. I know I didn't read this one because it's from this month. DC Barachel said, "I sought out this show after
you did this one too.
I did that one too."
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. What about this one?
Again, though, we can't give Zane Graves the spotlight.
Well, no, there's three more. There's three more.
You got to read all of them now.
Okay, so AFA says, "Not listening yet. Pitter patter and ... There's such thing as top tier spooky podcasts, and a podcast listener ought to be aware of it. Give this one a listen if you love internet mysteries. It's a treasure. I recommend joining their Patreon too. Live recordings, too much fun."
I mean, they are pretty fucking great.
Peeb13 said, "The best part of my day. Diluti is how I survive between Nexpo uploads. Love these guys." And then Diva Jams said, "Challenge accepted. I totally took the Patreon scout thing as a challenge and chased down the link. You gotta let people know the link for becoming a Patreon is on your website."
This is why Mike got upset.
You already
and hates
did.
all of you.
And this dark web box. The dark web box. We're doing the dark web box.
Dark Web Box is on its way. I don't know what the rest of that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. We covered it.
Listen to them. They're episodes. That's what they say.
All right, enough stroking our own egos. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. All right, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for coming out. We're gonna clink.
Yeah. As we clink, I have a fucking surprise for all of you. So this is what I wanted to play. I found it while we were recording. It sounded like it would work here, but good night, everybody.
Versus Thea. Begin.
A bird against the one who throws the web. You'll need more than a notepad to go past this magnum opus bend. Your family's broken, bent. I'll look into Manfred's hopeless mess. I know a thing or two about Ocean Quest, but we both know Lorenz. He dropped the phone because he knows that his home's a wreck. Not surprised she can't step up when her legs went and sent her to the hospital bed, and she never woke again. But I can see why you slept in. I wouldn't want to live your dreaded use, since Daddy couldn't find time to care for you with the lens of truth. No revival's gonna save you when I'm dissing this pest, cause he nabbed the system and dipped in the literal sense. You trick. You're more confusing than your textures. Useless. You're only wanted by retro collectors. Moon kids. I send over all your flimsy horrors. Hubris. You can't save yourself. It's your turn.
I think the phone's ringing. This foe's got his flow missing, but he should know I'm the Mario killer. I got pro crow spitting. So best head to Lon Lon Ranch, cause on the mic I roast chickens. It makes sense, you're the elegy of emptiness, and saw the filler in your writing had made me deadly sick. You're not really exciting, scary sightings and standing silent. I could stop you in your tracks by turning on an antivirus. A magnum opus of cartridge position. Hey, some more fly than you, even up to your ascension. The only thing you froze were the screens you were shown on, mixed with the shallow story that rivals the water you choked on. The father murdered ya, you got eternal hatred. You took the Termina, then you got terminated. While I'm still alive, you can't be comparing our states when your fandom grabbed a pen and gave a terrible fate.
Mentioning fandoms like you're someone who could strike a chord, using unity to stay alive like a needs your life support. And don't say I'm the worst of my kind, because my internet story's the reason yours is alive. Killing this track and the counter resets. You're not getting rid of me with the browser refresh. Hear the ringing of the phone going as loud as it gets. Don't worry, it'll be muffled once you're drowning to death.
As if I gave into your threats, they should have kept this error hidden. Thought this reservation could serve up something that's better written. With your phone and disses, you made yourself a living hell. Since cowards freaking out at their computer sure does ring a bell. I'm not scared of you since your powers consist of nothing, and no glitches can save you when your days run out like your funding. And to make like your website and clever pop breaks, your ROM will be the only thing that's left on your grave.
Who won? Who's next? You decide. Rap battle.